grown older, one of the signature things for myself has become bow ties. As I wanted to learn how to tie it. Finally went to YouTube and learned, and I've been practicing, and I'm getting better and better. But I like the bow tie just because it's different. And my father taught me it's the little details that really set you apart. Anybody can, quite candidly, put on a suit. Anybody can, but it's the little details, things like cufflinks and tie and bow tie and a pocket square and little different things, and your shoes shined, right, Bishop? All that actually sets you apart. So I hear the doorbell ringing, which means that our guest is arriving, and so I'm going to shift gears and prepare for our interview. But again, I represent the kingdom of God. So if people think I'm a lawyer, I tell them, I use it as an opportunity to be able to tell them that I'm an advocate for the great advocate for Jesus. And my mother also encouraged me that when people compliment you, that's an opportunity for you to point to God and give him glory and help them to understand your motivation is that you're a child of God, you're a part of the kingdom of God, and you represent the kingdom. And so there it is. So again, we go behind the wall every Wednesday from 7 to 9 at Nashua Street Jail, unit to unit. We go at the Suffolk County House of Correction every Friday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then we do reimagining democracy reflection circles that are restorative justice styles. We do that almost seems like every day, several times a day at Nashua Street Jail at the House of Correction for the various units. And so we're behind the wall a lot. And then we do the one-on-one follow-up with individuals to support them in their re-entry back into society. So we've got a lot. The Bible says the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. So to pray for the laborers, and we do pray, and God is answering our prayers. And perhaps you are an answer to that prayer, and you can help us in our movement to be able to prepare for people to come back into society. We're doing no entry, as we want people whom are anointed to go into the community and help young people make better choices, that we can prevent people from becoming incarcerated and break the intergenerational cycle of people who are incarcerated, their sons and their grandsons, and even people who are serving time together. There is intergenerational connected, and the Bible talks about generational curses or generational blessings. And so we're trying to break that cycle by doing no entry and re-entry, successfully preparing. I'm working with my brother Nicholas D. Jarnett, who is a directly impacted person whom he, myself, and another brother, Kirk Giles, were able to collectively secure 3 years of a lease of a property in Worcester that we're working collectively to be able to prepare for returning citizens to be able to come, to be housed, to be trained, to be reintegrated back into society, to be prepared, to be able to be the leaders that God's called for them to be, as entrepreneurs, to be able to hire other returning citizens and to be able to understand the culture that is unique to ultimately successfully re-entering back into society. So again, we're shifting gears. My guest is going to be joining us momentarily. Hello. We've got 2 guests. I see. Amazing. Amazing. Hello. How are you? Good. Good to see you. What's your name? What is it? Adonis. Pleasure to meet you, Adonis. That's your mommy? Oh, that's awesome. So we, you gotta, you can talk into it if you want. Sure. There you go. We have Adonis with us as well as Alexandria. Go ahead. You can.
Hi.
Hey, first time on the air. It's your Broadway. It is your official broadcast. Right. You can say you started right here on Boston Praise Radio and TV Network, right?
Exactly.
We can remember this day. So look at that. So our guest has arrived. How are you?
I am doing good. Taking it one day at a time.
Yes.
And really, really feeling very blessed, very happy. but also very energized that we're here today.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me again.
Of course. Thanks for coming again. We've extended the invitation to all of the candidates, and some take advantage, some don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Some campaigns don't even have phone numbers. You send an email, you can't get, there's no, I don't understand that. You're running for elected office. You need to be able to be accessible some kind of way.
You have to. I mean, how are people going to reach you if they can't connect with you?
I don't understand it.
I don't know, but yeah, you know what?
But you're here.
I'm here.
And you're here with your son.
Yes.
So you're like in the trenches, and I love it. There's another candidate. In fact, I think it's interesting. After you will be Marvin.
Yes, I was so funny. I was on my way here.
Yes.
I bumped into him.
You did.
And I'm like, I was beeping my horn.
That's so beautiful that there's civility amongst, this really contested seats.
I always say, this is a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, me and Marvin, the other kid, we talk a lot about the importance of, we're all people that we just want to be able to serve and do good work for our city.
Yes.
And this is an amazing experience for all of us.
Yes.
And what happens after this is that maybe we can get together and figure out how we continue serving and doing great things.
You know what? I love that. And it's so interesting you say that, because one of the things is, that this is one space that we've invited all the candidates to come on, and that's here on Boston Praise Radio and TV Network, while they are running, whether they're an incumbent or whether they're not, right? Then once you actually get in office, we want you to come back.
Exactly.
And they do. We want you to come back frequently. Just don't come through here when you're campaigning, right?
Right.
Once you get in office, we want to continue to hold you accountable,
right,
and build relationship.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? We want to make sure that we come back and also say, this is a part of what we're doing. And then whatever we do afterwards and engaging with the community,
yes,
it's so much important to continue that and showcase that. So yes, hold me accountable.
We're going to hold you accountable and you come back, right? We don't and here's the thing, right? I appreciate, and the people, when we go behind the wall, that's the other invitation, right? So you're here, and will you be coming behind the wall with us?
I am. On the next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yay!
Yes.
I love it. So that means so much, right? For me, and not just for me, but for the people who I advocate for, who are behind the wall, who feel just discarded. They don't have access to technology, right? We create nonpartisan candidate guides. That's a booklet that we create, right? But that's paper, right? That doesn't, looking in your face, looking in your eyes, engaging you, seeing how you engage me is going to really be how they make an informed decision, right, who they want to cast their precious vote for. Correct.
I mean, for me, I think we talked about this last time I came. When I used to work in the sheriff's department, I did a lot of work specifically in the women's unit. And for me, being able to sort of go back, re-engage, having that conversation. And even when I was overseeing the Office of Women's Advancement, we partnered with the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department in the House specifically to launch a program for free menstrual products.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So this is also part of the work that I've been doing before, but also coming at a new capacity to really have a full-on conversation on so many other things is so important. I'm really looking forward to it.
Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to it, and I'm sure they are going to look forward to it as well, particularly given the fact that you talked about the women. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's unfortunate we live in a society that is just male-dominated, right? I mean, I say that because it's the truth. Right? I'm gonna always advocate for the underserved, for the marginalized, and just tell the truth, right? Yeah. I'm a man, right? But the truth of the matter is our society, and so the women do not have the same. And we hear the women who are incarcerated say the men have access to exercise, correct, to play sports, right, and to go to the yard, right? They need that too, right? Exactly. Right, and so never mind the things that you're talking about, feminine products, right? Never mind like those hygiene products, and right. I mean, because even the guys don't really get everything that they need, exactly, and the women get even less. And we won't even talk about people who identify as LGBTQIA.
Correct. Well, there's no point of when you talk about transitioning, when you talk about even a bigger topic, maternal health, right? Yes. When you talk about postpartum depression and what that looks like. Oh my God. So it's a lot of these conversations that a lot of people are not having. Yep. That when we talk about what does healing look like and what does it look like for people who are there, oh my goodness, like I can spend hours talking about that as someone who went through really bad postpartum depression.
Wow.
It's one of those things that I can only imagine doing it for me going through it. I can't even imagine what it looks like
behind the wall.
Behind the wall.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's inconceivable, right? So one, congratulations, I guess, because there were how many people running for at large city council?
10 in total.
10.
Yeah.
We're now down to 8.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be 4.
It is. When I first started this, oh my God, it'll be a year in December.
Wow.
It's crazy. I came into the space where I was like, great, we're gonna do this. We're gonna give it all we got. We're gonna trust in God and let Him lead and hold my hand.
Yes.
And He is gonna tell me where to go. And when election day took place, I told my husband, I'm like, babe, let's go in. Let's vote together as a family. Let's do this. I was so nervous that I went by myself. And I forgot that he was going to go with me.
Why were you nervous?
Because for me, it's like, I couldn't believe that was my name on the ballot.
Wow, that must be surreal.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Like, I started crying in the voting booth.
That's powerful.
And the officer who was there at the table, she comes over and she says to me, she hugs me and she goes like, you did that. That's your name.
Wow. They knew, they recognized you.
And I was like, oh my God.
Wow, that's real huge.
And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy.
That is amazing. That shows the power of, it's interesting. We tell people who are behind the wall, you can run for office.
Of course.
Even if you're a convicted felon.
Of course.
And you can't even vote right now in the state of Massachusetts because, as we were talking before, we're working on a campaign to restore the right for the 7,000 people that have been, the right's been stripped from them to vote who are presently serving felony convictions.
Correct.
But you can still you can still be an elected official. We have an elected official, our president, who is a 43-time convicted felon.
Exactly.
So I'm just letting people know that you can run.
Yes.
And with this precedence, my understanding is there was actually a person who was incarcerated in Boston who ran for mayor and won. And actually served from behind the wall. I don't know how but there's precedent that's actually happened. Look it up. I think his name was Curry. Senator Wilkerson. She gave us like the details of that particular situation. So everyone should know you can't, and we're encouraging people who are directly impacted to vote, to run for office. You have a perspective.
Yes.
And a lens. You can run for sheriff. Can you imagine a person who's formerly incarcerated who's a sheriff?
That would be
change
a
the whole
huge game changer.
Yes.
Yes. I always say lived experience is something that no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah.
And that's your power to bring into that perspective.
Yes.
Like that's why whenever I talk about anything that it's like for me, my lived experience, I always get so passionate because it's one of those things that you lived it.
Yes.
You experienced it. You were right there.
Yes.
And no one can take that experience and that power from you because that's what you brought in. And when I went into the voting poll and I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. And then at the end of the night, and we were doing the counts, and I said to myself, being the first time running ever, being in a space where a good majority were all incumbents or former electeds, coming in 6th place, coming in with like over 19,000 votes. Oh,
19,000 votes.
God.
Wow.
So at the beginning, when we were looking at the numbers, it was it came over to, I think it was like 17 something. And then when they did the final count, it went up to 1977.
Wow.
And I said to myself, oh my God. Like we knew it was August. And in August, we have knocked over 5,000 doors.
Wow. So you're doing the groundwork.
We knew that we were calling, meeting people at the supermarket, at the store, at the bodega, right in the middle. I was doing a standout in Blue Hill Avenue.
Yes.
And these were all the things that I said to myself, wow. I was like, oh my goodness, God, you are so good that you brought us here. And this is something that you are showcasing because of all the work that we did. And
amazing.
Yeah.
Let me say a few things. One, I've heard you say God and faith a few times. So I just want to lift that up. So you are a person of faith.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, I think that's important.
Yes.
I mean, again, and with that, as a person of faith, right? People, it's so unfortunate, I think, right now more than ever, because people who identify as people of faith may not exercise the same love and faith that we operate in, and that's God is love. Right. There's another what I want to say, narrative of Christians who are hateful, right? And so I want people to understand that that's not the narrative when we say people of faith. We're not imposing our personal beliefs on anybody.
No.
Right? People think, oh, they're gonna, and so these wedge issues, right? Right? Like, that's not us.
No.
And so I just think we have to lift it up, because people of faith are getting a bad rap because of people who are misrepresenting, and that's always happened.
Right.
Nothing new, right? But I want to take this opportunity to lift that up, because we as people of faith, we believe the impossible can happen, and everybody's important.
It is. No, it's so important. For me, I would look at it. I grew up in a family of faith. I grew up, my grandma, every day when I was in the Dominican Republic, every Sunday, dressed up, we will go. That was every Sunday.
Yes, nice.
Every Saturday at school.
Nice.
Every Saturday,
nice.
Sunday.
Yes.
And like for me, that's the way that I want to continue to give my son that.
It's so important.
I want to be able to continue that every Sunday when we do go to church, when we do get together, when we do talk about these things, because for me, being able to have these conversations and just let others know, listen, this is about bringing people together.
Yes.
This is about showcasing our family, that we are all in this together, and that we are here to hold each other's hand and support one another. And to me, that's what it truly means to be people of faith, and how do we, because that truly showcases what does community look like. I remember sometimes my grandma couldn't take me, and I lived in a little village where we shared a backyard, and it was 7 houses, and we all walked to church together.
Ah, beautiful community.
And that's the community that I grew up in. And even when I first came here from the Dominican Republic.
When did you come?
I came when I was 10.
Okay.
And we lived in Magnolia Street. My uncle lived next door to me. We became best friends with our neighbor, because she will be the one to walk us to the bus stop. And on Sundays, when my parents couldn't bring us because they were working, she would walk us to church.
Look at that.
And just for me, that's what I call family.
Community. I love it, and I see it this way. I tell people all the time that we are one global family. That's how I see it. Everybody's my brother, sister, uncle. Like we're this one race, human. There was one race, right? The human race, right? So, and we all, the truth is, we all come from the motherland. That's what I mean. Even white comes from black. So this thing about fighting each other is so terrible, and we got to just stop this and come out of this scarcity mentality that I got to hoard more than I can consume, and you don't have your basic needs out of fear, right? Like the most valuable resource we have is each other.
Exactly. Because you know who's looking at that?
Who's that? Yes.
They are looking. Our little ones are looking.
Yes.
They are looking at everything they see us do.
Yes.
Was that the other day? I was at We the People did an event bringing all of the candidates together.
Nice.
And at the end of the forum, one of the moderators said, we need to be looking at ourselves as adults and what we are teaching our young kids. We yell them. We talk to them about their phones. We talk to them about the way they speak to elders and the way they connect. But what are we teaching them? And what are we showing them as adults? Because that's what they're looking at.
It's true. It's true. My father would often say, more is caught than taught. Right? Meaning, they see and hear and they absorb everything, and you can say, do this, do that. They're gonna do not as you say, but as you do.
Exactly.
Can't say one thing and you doing something else, because kids will be real quick to be able to call you on it. But let's go to this. One, I want to acknowledge Michelle, our sister who's tuning in on our main platform, www.bostonpraiseradio.tv. God bless you, Sister Michelle. Thank you for being tuned in. I'm not sure if folks are on Pastor Bruce Wall's Facebook page or the other platforms, but I want to welcome everybody who is tuned in. Please feel free to call in live on the air, 617-282-0685. Please feel free to communicate via the instant chat on our main webpage, www.bostonpraiseradio.tv, or you can write us at 670 Washington Street in Dorchester, Mass. But I want to go, we have in studio live at large Boston City Councilor Alexandria Valdez.
Yes.
I said it right.
Yes, you did.
Amazing. And so tell us more. We now understand, one, you are from the Dominican Republic and you came here at 10 years old. Two, we understand you are married and you are also a mother. You have your young son here right beside you. How old is he?
He is 4.
4. And again, his name is?
Adonis.
Adonis, of course. Hey, Adonis. Hey. Say it again.
Good.
Hey, there you go. Good to see you, buddy. So, mommy duty, campaign duty. So, tell us more about who is Alexandria Valdez.
Yes, I am.
That's right, mommy. He said, I'll tell you who she is. That's mommy. So tell us more about who are you?
Well, where do I start? Right? Espérate, mi amor, siéntate. Well, aside from being a mom.
Yes.
My parents live here. I came here when I was 10, and really, really thought about Boston as being me and my family's home since we got here.
Yes.
We lived in Roxbury when we first came. And that's where we lived. We shared community, and that was my first impression of Boston. I came in the middle of the winter. Imagine being in 80-degree weather, and the first thing I see is winter.
Wow, welcome.
And I said, "Oh my goodness, what is this?" But I have been a public servant for 10 years now. Been working in the city in many capacity. I always knew that I had a calling for helping others. I always knew that whatever I decided to do was to help.
Yes.
At a very young age, I started volunteering in the different cultural parades, the Puerto Rican parade, the Dominican parade, the Carnival parade. Everything you can think of, I engaged. And that was always, Papi, siéntate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was always my way of being able to give back. There was once I talked to one of my mentors. Vamos a sentarnos, papi. Vamos. Deja que mami termine. Sí. Por favor. Thank you. And I remember telling Tony Barrows, who worked for Mayor, he started working for Mayor Menino. I said, Tony, I want to intern.
Wow.
In the city.
Wow.
I was like 17.
Wow.
And Tony goes like, do you have time, Alex? I'm like, yeah, after school.
Because you know your voices.
Está tranquilo, papi.
Speak Spanish too.
He
Bilingual.
does. He does.
I love it. Good job.
And Tony said, okay, Alex, let me talk to Matt. That was Matt O'Malley, the city councilor at the time.
Matt O'Malley.
And that was my first. Mi amor, siéntate. Vamos, ponete aquí, vamos. That was my first internship working for the city.
Wow.
And I learned constituent services. I learned how to take constituents' calls. You name it. That was my first experience. And I fell in
He's
love.
trying to figure it out.
I know.
He's telling us how you put it on your ears.
Venga, ponete.
There you go.
Venga, enseñate.
There you go.
Así.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Can you hear?
No.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And that was my first experience. At the time, we had I had the honor of being there. Remember Charles Yancey's office was right across from that.
That was your entree.
Yes, Ayanna
Giant.
Presley,
Wow.
Tito Jackson.
Wow.
And that's the intro to government that I got.
That's amazing.
Adoni, permiso, papi. Siéntate que te puede caer.
I take because he's my daddy.
You did what?
Because I go to her city.
Ok, vamos a sentar. Ven, vamos a sentar. Ya quítatelo.
Okay.
Para yo poder terminar. Sí. Está bien, tranquilito ahí.
I will feel.
And that was my first intro to government.
That's amazing.
I remember I would take my little brother Jeffrey to City Hall on Fridays, and I remember why I still have this picture that Tito will give him a tour of City Council.
Wow.
I literally still have a picture of Jeffrey in the City Council chamber.
Your brother.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's at such a young age. That's the City Hall that I knew.
Wow.
You know,
And that's what I learned.
So let me ask you this. So with that said, that was your entree. You came in early. You've been engaged. You can hear me, huh? Yeah, because we're on the air. We're talking to the whole world. Your mommy's getting introduced to the whole world.
Yeah.
So,
Why talking?
what you said?
Why talking there?
Can I finish?
See, I told you talking.
Yes.
You're talking.
Yes. And we hear you talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Adonis. So with that said, in all of your experience in public office and your entree,
Because you're a
why did you decide to run for at-large city councilor? You okay?
I always say this. It's great to bring experience back to this place that you continue to serve.
Yes.
And for me, being able to serve in the city council means being able to bring all that experience back.
Yes.
From learning how to do direct constituent services to, oh my goodness,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
to being able to learn how to lead city departments.
You know how to navigate that better too, right? It's not
Correct.
foreign for you.
Correct. To being able to understand who to call when we need signs to be changed because they're the wrong ones in the street, or because a business is requesting 15-minute, 20-minute parking outside of their business. So these are all things that I've been able to understand and learn from working in the Office of Neighborhood Services, being a neighborhood liaison, to working at the city council side, to being able to lead different city departments. These are all things that I've been able to understand, been able to learn, and understand how to get it done. From learning how to do budgets, to leading programming, to working with sheriff's department to create programming for menstrual products, to building and creating grants for childcare providers in our city, to building programs now in funding different cultural institutions in our city. So for me, being able to say, I want to run for city council to bring that knowledge, bring that experience, but also bring that passion of someone who Boston helped raised, Boston helped shape. And this is what it looks like.
That's awesome.
To be able to give back to our community.
Let me ask you, with that said, what would you say to the people whom are challenged with people who are insiders?
That's a great question.
Right? You're inside, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to advocate for the people? Are you going to be loyal to the people, or will you, like, how can you, navigate, for the people who might say you are an insider and that you're going to be part of the status quo because you're privileged, right? And you benefited from that. What would you say to those people?
That's a great question. My answer would be, you want someone who has dedicated, who has chosen to build their career in public service.
Yeah.
Because that's how you know they really want to continue to serve. From starting at such a young age to breaking boundaries of being the first in a lot of spaces. For me, being able to tell a resident that for the past 10 years, I have been able to always keep residents first. I have always been able to keep our community first, because this is what this work is all about.
Yeah.
And you're so right? That's my privilege of being able to know, because I work for the space, but also understand then that I've been able to do that through many different administrations, and I'm still here
And
serving.
still, right.
So
Right.
that's something that I always remind people, because this is a question that comes up to me all the time.
Right.
So people always ask me this, and I say to them, we shouldn't look at this as a way that it's not considered a positive thing. we should look at it as a way as, wow, this person wants to serve.
Yeah.
She has dedicated her entire career to being a public servant.
Yeah.
And now she wants to continue to do that.
That's beautiful. And I love that you said you've done it through different administrations. So how many administrations have you been, because sometimes they clean house, right? Like, and the people bound. So how many, who are the administrations you have been a part of, you've been through?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I started working for Matt, it was for Councilor O'Malley. I was under the Menino administration.
That was, wow.
And after that, I went to college and I came back and I did some time at the Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
And then from the Sheriff's Department, transitioned over to Neighborhood Services under the Walsh administration.
Wow.
All throughout until Walsh was appointed to DC.
Yes.
And then stayed
Right through the Wu
right
administration.
through the Wu administration. And
Wow.
And that's been my trajectory.
That's amazing.
And that showcases, right, like what does the love of being able to give back to the community, that I'm still there.
That's amazing. So Michelle, who is tuned in faithfully, she's actually one of our sisters here at the church.
Hello, Michelle.
And she says, I get all that mommy on the job. So she's empathizing with all you're going through. So thank you, mommy.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you. If you have any tips, send them my way.
Absolutely. And her children are like young adults. So again, Adonis is how old?
4.
4. Yes. So, and a young boy. So that's a lot of energy for mommy to manage, but you're doing an outstanding job.
I'm trying. I always say when people say it takes a village, it takes a village, friends. It does take a village.
It does.
I am, you know what? I'm so thankful for all the aunties that Adonis has been gaining, all the uncles that he's been gaining, all the new friends that he's gaining.
That's awesome.
Because when people say it takes a village,
Yeah.
it takes a village.
It takes a village. Let me go to the village really quickly because I want to make sure that I cover some of these questions, right? So with the village, right? So one, I want to speak about our public school system.
Mm-hmm.
What is your position? I may have asked you this question before, but
We talked about it, yeah.
so you know where I'm going. One is that we're the only city in the Commonwealth that is not fully elected. What is your position with regard to school committee? Should it be fully elected? Should it be hybrid? What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, I think the people voted. I mean, the residents spoke and we connected about this. I think that when the last time we spoke, and I think that's our jobs is to be able to make sure that we're listening.
Yeah.
There's no better experience to have a voice in our schools than someone who's going through it,
Yeah.
than someone who's experiencing it,
Yes.
someone who truly breathes it.
Yep.
And also thinking of those who are willing to serve in the same space that we're doing now.
Yes.
So for me, it's really looking at that and really listening to what the community is putting forward. And I look at it this way. Adonis is 4.
Yes.
His birthday is that weird app where his birthday's in October.
Okay.
So he's either too young or too old to get into their system. And we go through, you name it, we are doing everything to make sure that he is able to get into our schools, right?
Yes.
And get in the best for us. So whomever is sitting in the school committee, I wanted to make sure that they understand
Yes.
and what's best for him. And who's better than
Yes.
someone who wants to fight to be there?
Yes. I love that. So you support a fully elected school committee. The people have actually spoken. You say we should listen to the people.
Correct.
I
We
love
should
that.
listen to the. I mean, with a lot of that's the whole point of the conversation, right? Because I always say this: we have our opinions.
Sure.
We all do.
Sure.
I think last time when we had our conversation, we talked about that, what it looked like to also think about a hybrid.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I can have my opinion, but the
That's
people speak. The residents speak of what we want, what they need, and what we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And our job is to respect that, honor that, and listen.
It's absolutely true. That's why we have our system in place, right? So ballot initiatives, right? That's a mechanism. You could put something and say, what do you got? What else do people think? And people who are engaged, right, they responded. And it was overwhelming that Boston wanted a fully elected school committee.
Yeah.
Mayor Wu had, again, there's some things I appreciate. There's some things I love that she's done and some things that I don't agree with, right? And I think that that is one thing I know she's been consistent about. She wants a hybrid, which I think is in place now.
Yes.
But the people, so we need her to hear that, as well as we need to hear anything else that the people are saying. And there's a whole bunch of people who are not engaged because they've checked out of the process because they don't feel heard.
That's another thing, right? We have so many people who were originally engaged, and this is in all issues, and then they stop being engaged because they say, then why should I continue to be engaged if no one's listening?
I hear it all the time.
For me too, like we have conversations even with parents,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because when we talk about engagement, what does a parent engagement look like? And you have parents that are and when it comes to every issue, right? You hear this, great. I will advocate. I will do this. But what happens when there's no listening? So I think that's one of the things when everything, right? When we talk about transportation, when we talk about schools, when we talk about bus stops, when we talk about anything, right? Like, how do we really put in our listening ears and really listen to what the community and the people are asking for?
Amen. So that's school committee. So with the Boston public school system, so elected is one, fully elected, but the other issue is underperforming public schools.
Yeah.
Right. This is the educational mecca of the world. Right. These higher institutions of learning that don't pay taxes. They have the whole payment in lieu of taxes,
Which they never pay.
which they don't pay, and then sprawling out, taking up real estate more. Northeast and other institutions are taking up more real estate within our community.
Yeah.
They're getting more resources. People come from all over the world to be able to come and get education. Right, their endowments are getting larger and larger. But what are they doing to be able to give back to the people who are born and raised here? So, what would be your position in terms of being able, never mind, Boston public school system as it relates to just education, but also the trades, as everybody's not going to college. Everybody's not.
Because college is not the end. Not everyone is so different. Every education path is so different.
Yes.
And we need to be able to honor that and do good by our kids by allowing them to get and understand that, yes, college is amazing for those who choose to do that.
Yes.
But not everyone
Yes.
chooses to do that.
Yes.
Yes.
So what would you do? Is there any strategies that you would have to be able to hold or address the payment in lieu of taxes and hold these higher institutions of learning to do more? If it's mentoring, adopting public schools, whatever it is, like, do you have any strategy or any plan or accountability that you would kind of advocate for as a city councilor?
Of course. The first thing is, whomever of these schools that are trying to expand any living space or any buildings in our city, my big stance will be, no, you are not expanding until you pay some back, my friend.
Yes.
Or what are you giving the community for a community benefit?
Yes.
So before we have conversations and we sit in the BPDA and we discuss what an Article 80 project looks like, you need to tell me what you are going to give to our community before we even start thinking about expanding anything. Whether that's partnering with a local public school, where are local schools, and what does mentorship look like, after school programming, or even offering free classes to our students.
Yes.
Which is something that I would love to really focus and push on.
Yes.
And then when it comes to our trades, Madison Park is a beautiful school. I always said this. When I first came here from the Dominican Republic, I always said to my mom, like, Mommy, why didn't you put me there? Why didn't I go there? And I look at that and I say, we need more resources to be put into our schools.
Yes.
We need more resources to be given to our trade schools.
Yep.
And more availability and opportunity for our kids to understand, to have an option.
Yes.
To have a second path of what does it look like if you don't go down your traditional school path. And that's okay.
I love it.
But being able to offer that as an option is essential from day one, allowing kids to understand that they have that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Your phone ha cargado.
I know, se me murió el teléfono.
So another issue that is a major issue that has to be tackled in our community is one, mass and caste. And I'm going to tie these two together because we're running short on time. So mass and caste and its intersectionality with even incarceration, right? Addiction, trauma, mental illness, nutrition deserts. Right? These are many things that are the precursors, from my perspective, to this conundrum that we have as it relates to mass and caste. That's not even mass and caste because it's spread all across
over
the city, right?
correct.
So, but many people are recycling back and forth in incarceration because they're not necessarily addressing the issues in incarceral settings, the root causes. So,
Me.
and with Long Island being closed and the bridge no longer being there, do you have any strategy or solution to mass incarceration and reentry?
Well, first of all, I always say this as someone who has family members who have gone through substance abuse. I look at it from, we need to understand that these are human. These
That's
are
right.
people
First.
first. And once we start to understand that, then we can talk about healing.
Bathroom.
Okay, mi amor.
Oh, you need to. I don't want to do that. If you want, you can pause and I'll just talk and you'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That works. That works. Mommy duty calls. So listen, she'll be right back. But yeah. And so I'm interviewing. Do you know where it is? Yeah. He'll show you. Ask the young man. So I'm interviewing Alexandria Valdez, and she's here with her son, who is 4 years old. But we are. If you got any questions that you have for our candidate, she's running for at-large city councilor, and there are going to be 4 at-large city councilors. There are now 8, and we will be interviewing. All of them have been invited to come on, and so if you are an at-large city councilor, we welcome you to come on the air and to be a guest. If you are a candidate at all, we invite you to come onto the air, not just to come onto the air, but come with us behind the wall at the Nashua County Jail, the Suffolk County House of Correction, and be able to engage our brothers and sisters who are behind the wall, who need to know who you are and what is your positions, what are your platforms, and that you even care enough to take time to come behind the wall and be concerned about their concerns. Every Wednesday night, 7 to 9, we're at the Nashua County Jail. Every Friday morning, from about 8 to 11, we're at the Suffolk County House of Correction. Sometimes we do that on Thursday mornings, alternating Thursdays and Fridays, contingent upon our other competing responsibilities during our Reimagining Democracy Reflection Circles that happen at both institutions frequently, because we're going to different units and we're building a whole movement of people who are civically engaged and understanding what that means. And so we want the candidates to actually come with us behind the wall. We're waiting to hear from the House of Correction, from their external affairs, the current policy of how many candidates, how many volunteers, what institutions. We solicit your prayers as the institution, is constantly, policies are ever evolving. We've brought candidates behind the wall consistently, pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. But the Sheriff's Department is in transition right now. So I solicit your prayers as we are praying for Sheriff Tompkins. We are praying for the administration, and we're grateful for the opportunity to be able to come behind the wall. The access that has been afforded almost for 3 decades at these institutions, as well as virtually behind the walls at MCI Shirley, virtually behind the wall at Boston Pre-Release, and now soon to be virtually behind the wall at MCI Norfolk, with the Leadership Academy that Stacey Borden heads up from New Beginnings. And so our candidate is back. Our young man is all set now.
He is coloring.
Oh, he's coloring now. Good stuff. Awesome. So mass and cast, humans first. I love that. With regard to re-entry, go ahead.
I know. I was just gonna re-agree, and I think once we start having a conversation, that we need to start looking at this issue as a human first,
yes,
but also understand that yes, this is something that as a city we need to be having conversations, but also it's not just Boston.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's something that the more we understand this issue, the more we as community come together to understand that these are also people and individuals who are coming from other cities, also seeking help.
That's true.
Seeking mental health resources.
Yes.
A lot of mental health resources.
A lot of mental health. That's a big issue.
It's a really big issue.
Yeah.
And that's something that when we are talking about what it looks like for a solution, because there's no such thing as one solution.
No. It's not.
There's no such thing as let's create this one program that's going to fix everything.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, because that's one solution is not going to fix everything.
No.
But what we can do is collectively bring everyone to the table from all of our different surrounding cities, have a conversation, start having plans, start having what are called options to really look at how we're really addressing this issue, how we put in this from a human perspective first, how we put in this from a mental health perspective, and how we're truly tackling this when it comes to all of us combined, and not just leaving Boston out to dry by itself.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's absolute. People not only come from all across the state, but they come from all across the world.
Yeah.
And I know because I'm engaging them behind the wall.
I was
Right?
gonna say, you know, because you're in
Yeah, we're here in it. And you know, I mean, Boston becomes the hub because there are resources.
Correct.
Right. So I love that it's not just a Boston problem, and we've got to challenge everybody to come to the table to be part of the solution.
Correct.
With that said, so reentry is a big issue in terms of housing with gentrification, right? Housing is a big issue, period, right? Immigration. ICE, right? People are getting literally out. A gentleman, Ricky McGee, God bless him, was released 2 days ago, Fuquan, right? Wrongfully convicted, served many years, right? This is a theme. Many brothers are now, ancestors are coming out of incarceration from years of incarceration, either youthful offenders, right? They know your brain is not fully formed until you're 25, right? So youthful offenders who had trauma and a lot of issues and, impulsive and did something, now you're serving life.
Correct.
Right. So people, and many of them have done a lot of work behind the wall on themselves and now are getting out. But now they're coming out to what?
Right.
Because they can't, technology, affording housing, employment, and all these other kind of things. So re-entry is a big issue. And so one of the things that we see, and it's housing is a big issue, period. Correct. And then if you're trying to re-enter into society, so the Boston office, the mayor's office of returning citizens actually now has a budget. They're doing some things, but it's not enough. So how would you address the housing issue and the re-entry issue that is such a problem? Yeah,
no, that's a great. I mean, I think one of the biggest advantages as a city councilor is that you're able to advocate for more funding.
Yes, that's true.
That's when we're reviewing that budget, we can truly look at where money needs to be directed.
Nice.
I think for me, having had the experience of working inside the House of Corrections and in Nashville Street and seeing what those resources look like, but also being there when the office was first created. And understanding that we need resources in order to support reentry is essential.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest things is just to look at how are we expanding that budget.
Absolutely.
And how are we also supporting the small nonprofit organizations who are doing this work?
Yeah.
Because I always say this, yes, we can continue expanding our budgets, but what are we doing as government entities, as individuals who are in these spaces to also support the grassroots, the hand-in-hand organizations who are doing the work every single day.
It's true.
And our job is to make sure that we are also allowing to help them get funded to help. Because like I said earlier, we can't do this alone. And it takes a village. And that village means being able to put money into that office specifically to be able to fund more of these organizations while also expanding its budget to do more work.
I love it. And my whole thing is actually sustainability.
Correct.
Right. And so one of the things that we're looking to do, we're working with people like T. Michael from the People's Academy. I don't know if you know him, that he does the Coppersmith.
Yes.
And so that's just one practical thing that you can make a living wage, right? Because these guys are again, they want to make a living wage. So tell people, well, just go get a job, and then you're subjected to a whole lot of stuff, and you're not going to make a living wage. You can't afford to live. So then they feel like, all I can do is sell drugs, do what I know to do. That's illegal.
Right, it's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Right.
So to give them a pathway out, one of those things is becoming a part of this building boom that's happening, that you can actually be a homeowner, right? By actually being a part of the union. So with that said, I know one of the things that I heard Josh Kraft say that was running for mayor, he's now still he's actually going to come with us behind the wall and come back on the air, because though he's not continuing to run for mayor, one, he wants to thank people who voted for him. Two, he wants to talk about what he's going to do, and he's getting ready to have a nonprofit organization, and he wants to reinstitute a program under the Walsh administration called Operation Exit.
I remember that program.
It's funny you do, because other people do as well, but unfortunately it was disbanded under the Wu administration. He wants to reinstitute it via his nonprofit under her leadership, that's helping people to be able to become a part of the unions, right? So that's one. He actually said he wants to make Boston the re-entry model of the country, right? So again, I love what you said earlier in the conversation. Regardless of how this comes out in terms of who becomes elected, what is your passion and your commitment to do the work, regardless of the title?
Exactly, because it's one of those things that I have always said this. Regardless of why you're doing this or how you're doing this, it's because you want to be able. If there's something that we all have in common, or at least I like to think so, is that we all want to make better for our city.
Yes.
We all want our city to do better, to be better, and to be able to serve our residents better.
Yes.
So I say this: the true testament is what you do after this.
That is a true testament.
The true testament is what do you do with the time that you have spent, and what do you do with after. And that's what residents of the city need to start looking at. What residents need to start paying attention to. What are people doing afterwards?
Yes.
And if they're coming back, we can say, great, you did all this amazing work.
Yep.
This time it just so happens that didn't work out.
Yes.
But did you stop serving?
Right, no.
Did you stop working and now you want to come back?
Right.
So I think that's one
Very
of the
telling.
real conversation that it's a real thing that we should also at some point talk about.
I
too.
love it. We've got 2 minutes, and I want to give them to you. Tell our listening and viewing audience why they should vote for Alexandria Valdez, and how they can support your campaign if that's something that they're interested in doing.
Yeah, no, I thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you for bringing me back.
Of course.
This is amazing, and it really, to me, it's a full moment being able to sit back here when we first originally spoke, and now I'm here again.
Yes.
So
It's
thank
exciting.
you
My pleasure.
so
Thank
much
you for coming.
for allowing me to come back and for sharing your space.
Of course.
And for always making me feel welcome and comfortable.
Course.
And now with Adonis, right? Making him
Of
feel
course. Of course.
So now we can say that he made his first debut.
Don't ever forget it.
Here.
Boston Praise Radio TV.